Hello, hello, hello. Everybody hear me okay? Do I sound all right? Let me actually scoot a little bit further in. Today, I realized I'm stupid. I know, you're not surprised. But today, I really realized I'm stupid. Hi, Misty. Lovely to see you. But before I talk about why I'm stupid, let me go through and do my thing. You know the classic. Let's see, who do we all have here? All right. Oh, and thank you so much for that follow, that girl kitten. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. First off, thank you so much for being first, Boku. Hello, Boku. Thank you so much for being second, Silverfang. And thank you, Dwarf, for being third. And now, of course, the hellos to everybody who checked in. Hello, 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 Carmia. Hello, Dove. Hello, Neeks. Hello, Elshell. Hello, Dwarf. Hello, Pandragon. Hello, Boku. Hello, Echo. Hello, Ellie. Hello, Dwarf. Hello, Naptime. Hello, Kitty Lover. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Mo the Lucky Girl. Hello, that girl kitten. Hello, Misty. Hello, Sinful and Nerdy. And hi, Gibbets and Allison and Sif and Vanya. And Silverfang, which I swear I already said hello to you. But hello, 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 everybody who just checked in. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Reminder, checking in does help the stream because it lets them know that you are active and here. But so how's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? You wanted two hellos? That's fine. That's fine. So, stupid Gene. I've been trying to eat healthy, right? I've been wanting to get healthier, wanting to better myself and have more energy, and so I've been focusing on trying to cook and eat healthy food. Well, game around. Okay, cool. And so, instead of, I got a bunch of like some decent healthy food already cooked. I had it in my fridge. I'm like, okay, I'll save that for later. I'm not really hungry right now. But do you know what I do want? 3 bars of chocolate. And I realized, oh, I'm hungry, but I'm also just having too much choices, and so I'm eating crap instead of what I should have been eating. I'm like, I crave chocolate. No, you crave food. Eat food. So now I have healthy food in my hand. It's very good. So I'm going to mute every once in a while I eat this while we get started here. It is leftover Qdoba. My work had Qdoba come by, and they're like, hey, do you want some Qdoba? And I'm like, yeah, I want some Qdoba. And I go over there, and there's like trays of chicken and steak and all this stuff. Like, they haven't touched almost any of it. So I made a giant bowl of food, and I now have it in my fridge. I'm eating parts of it. I did not make my bed this morning. I thought about it. I laid in my bed and said I should make my bed, and I didn't. I'll still do it. I'll come back from it. Qdoba? How do you say Qdoba? Oh no, Neeks. Neeks, try to type out how you spell it for me, please. Qdoba? Oh, I feel like that's fine too. I say Qdoba. Some people say Qdoba. Technically, it's not a real word. And I'll explain. But yes, I do need a keeper. If you want to volunteer, feel free to do so. Do you know why it's wrong? Oh, thank you for the check-in, Addy. Thank you to check-in, Seagull. Thank you to check-in, Honey. The reason it's wrong. No. Q in the English language is always followed by a U. There's no word where the Q is not followed by a U. And so Qdoba, it should not be a word. It should be Q-U Doba. Why? It's stupid, I know, but it should. Hello, Vividly, and hello, Hell, and hello, Sakona. Wait, do I have to bark after saying Hell's name because it's technically a swear? Well, just in case. No. Hell, you can't be the one to decide that. Carmia has to, and Carmia or Neeks has to be the ones to decide that because they are. Hello, Nuna. Oh, enjoy your class. All right. Just because barking is cute, grammar of the English language is so dumb. Oh, yeah. Oh, one of the funniest things I ever had is I had a Scrabble game when I was a kid. like a digital Scrabble game. It'd give you a bunch of random letters, and it'd give a bunch of random letters to the other person, and you'd have to like form words, and it'd score you, right? Well, apparently, ow! Why am I getting hit already? What the heck? Apparently, the game was bootlegged or junk because the very first round it gave us no vowels. And my southern cousin was like, oh, I don't know what word to come up with this. And I'm like, you can't come up with any word. And she's like, what do you mean? Oh, thank you for the head pats. And I said, every word in the English language has a vowel in it. You can't make a word without a vowel. And she's like, what do you mean? This word doesn't have a vowel. I'm like, no, it very obviously does. Point being, I might be dumb, but my family's worse. Not even a why. There was nothing. There was no way we can make a word. It was awful. Hello, silly hearts. How you doing? I don't know how it happened either. Don't drop your sacks. All right, so choices today. Is there really a choice? Is there really choices? We've only been playing one thing. And I've been enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but we've just been playing Cult of the Lamb. You ate the vowels? What kind of vowels? You choose not to choose? We still have made a choice. And now we need to listen to Rush. Give me a second. Sorry, we have to listen to Rush now. Congratulations, Gibbets. How'd it go? Most of my community is women, right? Like most of you are either femme or femme presenting. I mean, we have women, trans women, we have women of every spectrum, but most people here are women, correct? Now, I have a question. This has been a classic thing, an issue. I don't know if you've ever, femboy counts. I don't know if you've ever had this, like, most of my community aren't men. There we go. Most of my community aren't men. There are a few men and very, very few heterosexual men, but very few men at all. So, there's been a thing throughout, like, music, rock history, of women don't like Rush. Only men and nerdy men like Rush. So I'm going to play a random Rush song. We're going to play about, like, 30 seconds of it, and I need people to tell me if they don't like it or they do like it, okay? If you've heard Rush before, well, then you already know. This is Rush. Okay, y'all vibe with it? Y'all vibe with it? I mean, I'm going to about nerd out about this band. I mean, each one of them is a master of their instrument. It's insane. Wait, have y'all ever seen YZZ? Screw it, we're hanging out. We're hanging out. I'm going to do what I do whenever I, like... Give me a second. I just realized what I'm doing. So, y'all about to go through the experience every girl had with me in high school that I was interested in, where we'd hang out and we'd listen to music and I'd show them different videos and stuff. And so that's what we're going to do right now. It's always like, because I had this question all the time. I watched one documentary on Rush and they were like, oh, girls just don't like Rush. Only guys like Rush. And now I'm like, well, I want to blah, 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 blah. So I need to show you YYZ, okay? Because I play the bass. I love the bass. But you need to see them play it. How insane this band is. And like how amazing. Amazing, okay? Let's see if I can find the right video. Live 1988. Ooh, yeah, we gotta. This is what I would do. I mean, it'd be me and a girl laying in bed, somebody laying, or guy actually. Me, girl, guy, non-binary person, a human being laying on my chest while I play them music that I'm obsessed with. That was how I flirted with people. I mean, to be fair though, if somebody got in bed with me and was listening to music, was probably already succeeding. I just didn't realize because I was like one level above confident, but one level below awkward. Okay, it's time. You're saying, "Oh, I fixed this." There we go. This is YYZ Rush. And here comes the bass. Look how much of this is bass. So much of this is bass. It's just so much bass. It's insane. And he does a part where he plays with his like you'll see. You'll see. You do get though like how they're like one of the least sexy bands out there though, right? I mean like this guy looks like a nerdy art teacher. And the other one looks like an English teacher. The last one looks like somebody they picked up off the highway. They're amazing. They're talented. But for this era of music, I mean now they would oof, they hit. Mm. How are his fingers still going? How are his fingers still going? Like my fingers would have fallen off at this point. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong at all. Like they aren't traditionally hot, especially for the era. And like I love it. The look is fantastic. But you're not coming in there and being like, oh my god, I want to bang this guy. You're like, no, look how cool this guy is. He has this talent and he has this passion. And he has all this other stuff. That's what's appealing about him. You're not just like, I would put him on my wall and I would immediately sleep with this man. Thank you for the sub. Thank you, 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 thank you. I appreciate it. It's always been my dream to learn this. Okay, no, but now, man playing keyboard during all this as well. While he's shredding, and he's just like, I'm gonna go play the keyboard now. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And we haven't even gotten to the drum solo. You liked the drums before. Bye, Addie. This man. Oh. Oh. You get to see the extra drums. Look at that man's kit. There's too many drums. I don't even play the drums. I'd love to play the drums, but like, wow. Yeah, I mean, it'd probably sound decent if you hit everything. Thank you for the check-in, Kakashi. I know, right? I mean, he's such a small guy, but, like, there's muscle there. Shows you, like, a really practical build. This man, this is all his workout is, probably. It's just drumming all the time. And so he has muscles exactly to do what he wants to do. Drum. He looks like a little gremlin. He's a drum gremlin. I must. Hi, Black Silver. Welcome, welcome. I wasn't planning on watching this whole thing, but I mean, we're almost done. And now these who pulls out a marimba solo? I might be a xylophone, or xylophone, or a vibraphone. Oh, glockenspiel. No, I think glockenspiel's smaller. I don't know. It sounds cool, though. Marimba's wood. Vibraphone has big pieces underneath it. Oh, yeah. I think this is just the excuse that people use, though, to go to the bathroom. Because it's like, okay, you don't pee ever, right, drummer? You can just pee where you're sitting. You do the drum solo, we're going to go to the bathroom, all right? Okay, and the one other song that I like by them that we need to play because we're doing this right now is Trees. But I can get some other stuff set up. Okay, cool. So, plan for today. Cult of the Lamb? Cult of the Lamb? Everybody good with Cult of the Lamb? Anybody got a problem with Cult of the Lamb? Because I'm so bad at it right now. Hello, Button. How you doing? Colt? Colt. Yeah, y'all are excited for Colt. I'm not doing well in this game. What do you enjoy about it? But I'm doing great, Button. I hope you're doing good as well. All right, well, here it comes. And then listen to him hit these notes. His range is just there, man. His range is just up there. Excuse me. Why? Who allowed you to exist on that spectrum of the singing? And under the maple, isn't he happy in the shade? Ah. Boom, 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 boom. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna get Colt going. Give me a bit while I do that. And the apples are in depression, and the oats just shake their head. Okay, so women and non-binary people and femme-presenting people, what do you feel? How do you feel about it? Do you vibe with it? Or is this definitely a guy's band, like a nerdy guy's band? You vibe with it? Sick. Tis good. Femboy approved is alright. And it's not for everybody. I mean, like, it is heavily... You know what it is? It is the Lord of the Rings of music. Not everybody likes Lord of the Rings. The kind of person who can sit through Lord of the Rings really likes Lord of the Rings. That's Rush. Oh, it's a song about fascism. Well, fascism and capitalism. You know, we're going to talk about it real quick. I want to talk about this, the metaphors and all that. There's trouble with the forest. There's a problem with the trees because the maples demand more sunlight and the oaks neither please. The song is talking about how there's established wealth or established higher-ups and how oaks being so tall would take sunlight from the maples, meaning that the smaller people have an issue with that, right? As the song continues on, the maples get more upset with the established hierarchy and everything. And they decide to, rebel and fight back. And the way that eventually things get resolved, though, is that a third party comes in, a guy with an axe. And he says, now everybody's kept at the same level because they're all chopped down. It's a story, about... Yeah. There goes the trouble with the maples, I quite believe they're right. Say the oaks are just too lofty, they must give up all their light. It's a good song. Yeah. Is that something... Yeah. Gene, you used to do a thing where I smiled affectionately at the screen because you're being adorable. Oh yeah, I mean this was technically, it falls under the hard rock category of the 80s, so it was metal. '88, man. You ever feel like no matter what generation you're born in, it's the wrong generation? Whether it had been a few generations earlier, a few generations later, if it had been centuries earlier, I feel like any generation would have fit just a little bit better. But if I lived in that era, I'd have to deal with, that. You want to be born with the farmers? There are, you might be surprised, farmers still exist. I'm sorry, that's me. I don't know why. We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. They're too far. Fair enough, fair enough. And this thing of the thing is, the world is amazing. There's so much bad in the world. There's so much amazing stuff in the world. It's just, we're not in the right place and haven't gotten ourselves to the right fit yet. I would love to be, I would love to be a cottagecore lesbian. Goals. Why lesbian? Why lesbian? I could have just said cottagecore. I didn't have to be lesbian. I don't know. Maybe that says something about me. Maybe. Goals, to be fair. I vibe hardcore with cottagecore lesbians. A dark romance novel reader. Wait! Chat, I'm gonna read the first page of a book I just bought. It's autographed by the author. You ready? All right, chapter 1. All these fucking roaches and shit. Ah, God motherfucking damn it. Fred Quisha's murderous gaze was laser focused on to 5 black brownish roaches, all ranging in size. Ugh, and a bitch ain't got time for that shit today. I'm hungry, and a bitch need to get her pussy ate. The agitated Section H strag continued to nag. Anyways. There you go. There's my swearing. But this is This Hoe Got Roaches in Her Crib by Quan Mills, and it is signed by Quan Mills. I bought it off the TikTok shop so I could get it signed by Quan Mills, and it's amazing. Hello, Sky Walrus. But also, I will probably be doing I will be doing some fantasy book or dark romance book reading on the Patreon eventually. Oh no! Bang! Silver, you were alive! No! Why did you die? Oh, should I bring back those redeems? Give me a second while I fix this. I gotta connect everything. No. They're gonna... What's up, Addy? Yeah, sure. Okay. Everybody's upset. Wow. Everything hits till the very end. You were loyal. I'm proud of you. Okay. So, step 1, we're connecting Twitch. Step 2, I'm gonna redo the... Okay, step 1, connect Twitch. Wait for me, sweeties. Give me a second while I do this. Y'all are so cool. You know that? Y'all are so cool. I don't know. I love the fact that we just listened to Rush for a good 30 minutes of streams already passed. 30 minutes of stream have passed so far. And it's dorky. I get to have so stupid fun with y'all. Like, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have such a great community. Y'all don't try to pressure me into doing weird things. Well, not saying weird things, but I know there's some people who are like, oh, don't play this game. You're not good at this game. Or, oh, don't do this thing. Don't do that thing. Y'all are chill. Whatever I really want to do. You hang out. We get to vibe together. Okay, you do the redeems. God, fine. I got this voice for you. I bought it from the supermarket, and I brought it in so I can make it work, okay? Now let me get all the TTF redeems going so people can start talking to me because I know they want to. They're just so wanting to talk to me right now, right? You know, I don't think I want Pummel right now. I think Pummel's too much, but I will keep Bonk and Chuck. All right? Is that fair? Bonk and Chuck? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so those are there, the ones there. And not gonna lie, you're my new obsession. Honestly, I'm a horrible thing to be obsessed about. But see, I do a bunch of different voices, and if there's any other voices that... Give me a second, I haven't exposed my tits yet. If there's any voices that you're interested in me doing, they are available down south. And also, one more thing. Tits, Twitch integrated throwing system, okay? Twitch integrated throwing system. Why is it not synced up here? That's a bit strange. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Oh, that's what the issue is. Got this. So, boop. The trouble with the maple does not quite believe the right. You have a bad taste in men? That's very fair. Very fair. I mean, look. Why would you not have a bad taste in men? Men are funny. There it is, and there it is. Perfect. Okay. Ow! Ow! Hey, let me fix this first. There we go. Ow! Ow! What the heck was that? Thank you. I'm gonna be a what? A fox? What does a fox say? Bam, 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 bam. Anyway, so I had the other thing we're gonna be doing. One last thing. You're good, you're fine. So, if there's any voices that you want me to learn how to do, or you want me to try, let me know. Why is everything broken? Did I leave the game running at some point? And so what I'm going to be doing, the list makes me want to, like, beat someone with a stick. Don't beat me with a stick! And there we go, we're back to normal. Okay, so what we're going to be doing... Ow.
Sir Gene Prune Shrimpleton. Your water, sir.
Oh, thank you. Ah! Okay, so what we're going to do, and if you have certain requests, you can propose them over on the Discord, which will be changing the way it gets authenticated by the end of the week. So if you haven't joined due to authentication reasons, let me know. It's going to be happening soon. And we're going to do a redeem thing. So if so many people put down, like, it's going to be like 10,000, like 100,000 points, we will then redeem. We can add a new redeem. It's going to be the community has to work to acquire these redeems, basically. That's the goal. I think it'll be fun. Okay, well... Oh, no, probably like 100K. 10K is easy. Y'all get 10K points. Some of you have 10K points right now. Raise your hand if you have 10K points right now. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. So, I'm gonna make it a little bit harder that you don't just instantly unlock this. hello, lovelies. It's so good to see all of you. And all of you who are new to the stream, oh, wrong room. One second. All right. Like I said. Oh, what is going on here? One sec. Ah. I think I broke this. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. Why am I locked? There we go. Ow. Now I can do it. There. All right, so all you lovely new people, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you all. Love you all so very much. I'm very happy that you found your way in here because it makes it a lot easier for me to just do this. And welcome. You live here now, and you'll never escape. Not until I at least a partner. Thank you. Too bad. Too bad. Enjoy your prison cell. No? Technically, Gibbets is the only one currently, and some of the mods are allowed out, because Gibbets is an endangered species, and the mods are also allowed out. Pink, I don't care. Ow! Stop hitting me! Rude. Boku, I'll consider it. I'll consider it. It's called favoritism? It is. You're allowed a blanket. I will give you all blankets. Gibbets keeps... Ow! Gibbets keeps getting eaten, so... That is another reason why. If maybe y'all quit committing cannibalism, we wouldn't have this issue. Quit committing cannibalism. The 3 C's. And it's time to brainwash everybody. Yay, brainwashing! Woo! Yes, Vanya, you are allowed out of the cage. You are allowed out of the cage, Vanya. Some people I worry about, because if I let them go, they will not come back. Look how faithful they are. All right. All right, we're going to do the follower raffle. For those of you who do not know how to do the follower raffle, if you click on the screen, there should be a button, I think, in the top right corner to click. It'll allow you to make a character. We're going to give it about 3 minutes for y'all to make a character, and then we're going to do the follower raffle. You ready? Exactly. Why would you want to leave the cage? The cage is so perfect. So yes, please use the overlay if you'd like to join. And a random person will get selected into the cult. We'll give it about 3 minutes. The cage cannot contain you? Oh, is that true? Is that true, Sakona? And why can't the cage contain you? Yeah, refresh for the interface or use mobile. Alexa, set a 3-minute timer. Fair enough. Fair enough. That would be a way to get out of it. By the way, get yourself a soda stream. Get yourself a soda stream. It is so great having a soda stream. I go, throw in my G-Sumps into the water, throw the water underneath the thing, 0 sugar, plenty of caffeine, nootropics for healthy brain activity. It is fantastic. You can buy on the phone. I believe you have to click a thing on the stream. It is water. It is water that's been bubbled. I'm not sure how it works on mobile, but I think there is a little circle on one of the corners of the screen. 14. Holy crap. Okay, I think we're ready. Don't soda stream. Do not soda stream. Hi, Keely. Boku! Welcome, Boku! Don't worry, there will be more. There will be more. Wait. Accept. There you go. You? Go get bed rest. All right, we got another one. Evil gang. Evil gang. All right, we're gonna do it again. So y'all have another, we'll do about 3 minutes again? Or once we hit about, like, I think 15 should be good. And a reminder, if you die, I can't get you back until I resurrect you. You send him a case of water. I'm heavily considering getting Dar. Oh, people are joining the raffle through the overlay on the stream. We should like just play a video on how to do this, but I don't have a video. Or chat resurrects us. 15 people. Okay, here we go. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't know I could hit that. Interesting. Hello, Lisa Latte. Can we get a shout out for Lisa? Chat, Lisa's a fantastic streamer. I would love if you go check them out. Loki! Welcome, 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 Loki. Ooh, naturally obedient. Oh, look at you being obedient. Also sick. But, oh, okay. Maybe I should build another thingy. I think I need... Oh, Alexa, stop! What do I need to make another thing? Lucky Loki. Ooh, I like that. I need money. How much money do we have? 8. You know what that means, lovelies? It is time to go gamble. We're gonna be throwing away all of our money into the gambling pot, and if we lose all of it, well, guess what? We're gonna have absolutely no money again, and I will cry. Okay, Vanya, DM me right now. My lovely, lovely mod, what's up? Oh. Oh, there's a turtle follower I need? Okay. Wait, there's a turtle follower? What do we got? What do we got, chat? What do we got? What do we got? Give me my lovely void link. Show me something good. Yeah! Oh, hey, thank you for the follow. Tease nuts. Like your name. All right. Also, how about, do you want to do a little gamble together? You want to verse gamble? I got to do a sermon real quick. But let's see who can win. We'll put up something else. We gotta put something up for thing. Oh yeah, cage time. I will throw myself into the cage if y'all win. But if you lose, then what's equivalent? All right, bye-bye, these nuts. I do owe you that. Okay, how about this? if I win, I don't do the cage redeem, and we delay it again until the next gamble. Oh, thank you, Deez. Every morning at 3:30 a.m. MST to 5:30 MST, except on decide my fate, please. Except on Saturday, Sunday, so weekdays. And that is Deez nuts. All materials were refined? Oh, heck yeah! Y'all, thank you. Y'all really helped out a lot with that one. I appreciate it. That means I can go send you. Hey. Wake up. No, don't be upset. I'm sending you to bed rest. Oh, they haven't fixed your bed yet. Now it's good. Bed rest. There we go. All right. Gamble time? I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you all enjoy it. Honestly, that meant this morning was good. Oh, I love doing this morning. With the, Somebody help. What game did I play this morning? What was I doing this morning? Oh, thank you. Cleaner was great. Thank you for the follow. Anna, I kind of read that I read put Gene in my ass. I'm like, I sure hope not. I sure hope not. I misread what you said. I'm sorry. I just needed people to know. This is what I read. I did. I Ray barked. There you go. I'm a cleaning game. Thank you for the stream streak, and thank you for follow. I really do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the forbidden hole. You right on that one. You right on that one. Absolutely, absolutely. Give me. Ow! Behave yourself, Vanya. Be right back. Gonna go get the candy bags ready. Oh, have fun. Halloween's not today, right? I didn't miss Halloween. Everybody's doing Halloween stuff, and I'm like, am I missing something? Friday. Yeah, exactly. Thursday, I'm doing a collab, a Halloween-esque collab, which should be sick. You're right, Halloween is all week. I also found a Halloween costume, chat. I think you might like this Halloween costume I found. No, don't be shush, Vanya. Don't be shush. All right. It's time. Are you ready? Are we ready? Y'all ain't gonna beat me. Y'all ain't even gonna get close to beating me. Now, for a reminder of how Knucklebones works. We each get dice, one at a time. You have columns to put the dice in. You put them in at the top, and it fills down to the bottom, okay? If you have the same number on your own side in the same column, it will double the value. So 1 and 1 is 2, and then you get another one, it increases it more, it multiplies, it does a thing. And if you have the same number that I have on the opposite side, it will delete mine. So if you have 3 6s, but then I put a 6 down here, it will delete all of your 6s. We good? We understand? We'll do 3 of these. Best of 3, okay? Wait, one? Oh, here you go. And also the, ooh, thank you so much for the redeem. I hate that one. What do you win? I get put in the cage. Should we do a Halloween competition? Costume competition? Chat, costume competition? I'm not gonna be in it, but I can judge it. You wanna throw together? No pre-bots. You just gotta throw together whatever you got, okay? Perfect. Yeah, screw it. Halloween competition. Everybody send in them by the 31st. And I will give up money for it. Yeah. Why not? Hello, Heavy. How you doing? What do you regret typing? Okay, I'm doing awful this time around. I read it, Vanya. Don't you worry, I did read it. Y'all understanding the game so far? This is making sense to you? Good. Okay. You want to help me out? You want to help me out a little bit? Chat, put it anywhere. Thank you! Ooh, there we go. That's what I needed. Now we got this. Hello, Hidori. Y'all, I'm about to win this one. I'm about to bring it back. Watch right now. I'm going to get another 6. Instantly. Bam. Bam. Game over. I win. If I get a 6 right now. Apparently I get a 1 and I lose. And I lose immediately. You will hypothetically be let out of the cage. All right. 2 more. 1 out of 3. All right. Let's do it. All right. This time. I got you. Watch. 3s. Come on. Pop it down. Where are we putting it? No? Ooh. Now, if I was smart, I wouldn't get rid of your 3 because it's not that big of a number. Oh, no, you have 2 3s. Okay. I see what's happening here. Game's playing favorites. It's fine. Little favorites. You're at 12 right now. 5. Boom. What are you going to do with the 5, huh? You're going to pull out a 6. Okay. No. What if I eat myself? You can't eat yourself. It's cannibalism. Maybe. What? No, hey. No. Bad. Come on. Okay, I'm getting rid of your 6. You don't need a 6. You got too many numbers on the board already. My 5 is safe. I think you click on the overlay. I don't know how it works. I haven't seen it from y'all's end. Thank you for the follow, Riptide Rose. Welcome. Stop looking at your own arm. You can't eat yourself. Do not eat yourself. Come on. What is happening here? Why are you... I'll get the cage ready. Okay. Here's what I'm hoping happens, right? If I get a 5 or a 3, I can decimate your score right now. That's all I need. Maybe Cricket. We'll see. If you win this, I'll feed you all. Oh, come on. Save me. 5 3s. Let's... No, not you, 5! Thank you for the lurks, Raven. Come on. Okay. That's a starting point. Boom. Goodbye score. You're still at 47. How? How are you still at 47? What is this? Look how many 1s I have. Fine. As promised. Wait, no. No sweets. No sweets right now. You don't deserve sweets. That's the wrong thing. There you go. There's some snacks. You can get some snackies. Okay? And you get blankets. Okay? You happy? There. Leaving you in the cage. But I'm leaving you with food. Okay? Good. Thank you. This is a pre-made model made by Polar Bear. I think it's Polar Bear? Snow Bear. Snow Bear Project. You can use this model too. It's just going to be the black and white coloring. The base coloring is as such. But I prefer my red. All right. We're in the cage. There. There. All right. You happy? Putting me in a freaking cage. Crimes? Crimes. Can you have a pillow? No pillows. You didn't earn a pillow. You did it, didn't you? You tasted the power of the mushrooms. Yes, so you're just like Sozo. Sozo knows you are a friend. Here, you must take this, a sign of friendship between two lovers of the Met Society mushroom. Keep it safe. You could trust no one. No one. I would love some black tea, please. That's what my brain. I wish to give you something else, something to symbolize your undying adoration for the menticide mushrooms and their limitless potentials. Oh, cool. I like the mushroom sculpture. I lost. Like a little loser. Hey! I'm a big loser. No need to thank Sozo. Build it at your cult and come back to me. Sozo shall grant you one last gift. Sozo's always fair, always repairs his debts, repays his debts, not like those liars out there. There we go. I like Sozo. Sozo is a good boy. Ooh. 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 If I die and go to hell real soon, it would appear to me as this room, and for eternity I'd lay in bed, my boxers half stoned with a pillow under my head. Also, roof. Sorry. I have that song stuck in my head now. I'd be chatting on the interwebs. Maggots prey upon the living dead. I had no interest in the things she said on the phone. Called her on the phone and she touched herself. She touched herself. She touched herself. I called her on the phone and she touched herself. I laughed myself to sleep. Sorry. I like Sozo. He's cool. I don't know what I want. Chat, what if I did a cover of every good pop punk, not pop punk, what's the genre? It's not emo really, but it's alternative. What genre is that music? Losercore? Valid. Valid. 100% losercore. Honestly, yeah, no. What if I did just cover of all the best losercore songs? No, you know what fits in there? 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Listen to Iron. No, it's not Midwest emo. Midwest emo is very specifically the one like that has no intelligent kind of covers. Ooh. Okay, fine. I'm gonna look it up. Give me a second. Well, I can get sexual too. Oh, pop punk. Pop punk. They are pop punk. Okay, pop punk. Can I do Ruby Dark Rose covers? I don't know who that is, but potentially. So I still can't nail Phantom of the Opera yet. We're still working on that one. It's kind of hitting my throat weird. And I do have plans to do the, whatchamacallit? Brain. Oogie Boogie. I'm still gonna be doing Oogie Boogie. I finally found a mixer to do it, so it might come after Halloween, unfortunately. But I have to go through a person to do it. Well, what have we here? Thank you for the check-in, Santa Claus, huh? Ooh, I'm really scared. So you're the one everybody's talking about. You're joking, I can't believe my eyes. You're joking, you gotta be. This can't be the right guy. A lot of fun. Don't bonk me. Also, I'm having to do an Ed Sheeran cover for my singing lessons. Because the guy was like, hey, oh, sorry, let me give you your ooh-woo. Come here. Ooh-woo, thank you so much for the redeem. Didn't even get MTV here. It used to be all I watched when I lived in Italy. Because the one thing that was still in English. Nya. No, why am I nyang? I don't nya. The one from The Hobbit. Help get me out of here, please. Sorry, we're good. 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. I only have one heart left. Oh, that's what that meant. Ha. Oh, I am SOL'd. I will have to look up Ruby Dark Rose. I don't know what they do. What kind of music are they? Wait. Book talk songs? Book talk songs? Oh, yeah? The only thing I could think of as a book talk song would be something like, my safe word is harder. Poison all active enemies. Yay! Chat, I'm gonna write that song. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just a teenage dirtbag, maybe. I do not look cute in a cage. I'm gonna leave the cage. 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. Come with me Friday, don't say maybe. 'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby, like you. Ooh. I died? I was still alive, though. I'm so confused. Never mind. Hey, chat, we're going back to gambling. Let's go! Gamble time! Woo woo! I never wanted to dance with nobody. Oh. Poor Gibbets. I'm just a teen.
I'm chewing your bars again.
Don't chew my bars. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby. Oh, tell me Friday, don't say maybe. I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby like you. Hey, meat. Teenage dirtbag. Oh, she don't know what she's missing. I can't get this out of my head. It's gonna be there forever, and I will die thinking about it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Don't be dead. Oh, we'll bring back one of you. How about we just bring back somebody from the dead? Y'all are mind controlled right now, so this is the perfect time to bring people back. Yeah. He was hello, Machine the One. How you doing? He was a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy." All right, chat. You have to pick. Oh, can I not do it yet? Oh, I don't have enough bones. No bones. Never mind. We need more bones. Please, do I really have to do this one? I mean, honestly, there's so many other voices you can choose, and nobody chooses the other ones. It's always this one. This one and the stupid nerdy one. I mean, okay. I guess we're gonna be stuck like this for a little while. Bones you'll take? No bones. I can't give you my bones. Fervor of the righteous. That sounds interesting. No, there's no escape from the basement, I'm sorry. Alright, Penguin, tell me a joke. What's the joke? Honestly, it's kind of surprising how many of you actually wanted to be kept in the basement. Like, honestly... What's a skeleton's favorite snack? I don't know, like... bones? Oh! Oh, that makes more sense. I guess bones really doesn't make much sense for a snack. Core memory unlocked. Hello, machine. Give me a second. Core memory was just unlocked. Core memory just unlocked. I remember this one. Gas! Why must you fail me so often? Ribs! It's so good! It's so good! Why must you fail me so often? Ribs! Do your bones have iron? Maybe a little bit. Maybe just a itty bit. Yeah, a little tiny bit. Like a little tiny bit. My son tells me the skeleton ribs joke. Why are they crazy? Crazy. And you can do it, you're truly divine, thank you. Oh no! Well, you are legally allowed to tell me a dad joke. I will not prevent you. Go sleep. Oh, is there no bed for you? Stop puking over dead bodies, jeez. Mine got missed, what was yours? Was it a redeem or what? What do you mean mine got missed? Crazy, I'm crazy. Why are there pert people? Why are skeletons so easily spooked? I don't know. Why are skeletons so easy? Stop throwing up! Why are skeletons so easily spooked? Because they have no guts. I like that one. That's good. Okay, why are people tired? Go bed. Oh, because they're coming down from the sickness. Okay, that's right. Put the gun away. It's time. I'm gambling against you to get out of the cage, okay? Well, you know. Come on, get down with the sickness. Your mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your... Get done. All right, shit. Let's see what we got. 4. Put it down. You're not gonna win, so what's the matter? What's the matter? You ain't gonna win. What do you get if you cross a pager with a... Sorry, I heard some noises. Come on, get down with the sickness. Hello, princess. How you doing? Oh no, you can't see. Oh, that's awful. I'm doing fantastic. God, it's too bad you can't see. Oof. A little sick? I hope you get better soon. Y'all aren't reading this against me, are you? Y'all aren't reading this against me, are you? Are you cheating? Are you cheating, chat? Are you cheating? You aren't cheating, are you? You tell me if you're cheating, right? You tell me if you're cheating, right? Why don't I believe you, Chan? You blew on my dice, my bad. Don't blow on the dice! Throw your luck away. Give me the luck. Let me out of my cage. Coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine. No! Hey, just because I did that to you does not mean that you need to do it to me now. Bro. Why? Why you like this? Thank you for that, Pets. Thank you for the check-in. Everybody's checked in. Thank you for checking in. I do appreciate it. It does help me with streaming. All right. I'm going to take your luck right now. We're just going to... Okay, I got your luck. I'm throwing it away. You have no luck now. So now it's my turn to win. I should have eaten that. I could have eaten that. Anyways. All right, give me a 6. Bye, dwarf. Yes. Give me another 6. Give me another 6. Come on. 6, give me 6, give me... No! Come on. A 6, or a 5, or a 4. 6, 5, 4. 6, 5, 4. Come on. I got this. Oh, thank you. Have you heard of a game called Raid Channel Items? If you sign up, you'll receive nothing, because I'm not sponsored by them, and they can suck it. All right, give me a 6. Give me a 6. Give me a 6. What do you mean a 1? Do you make music, Gene, or draw? I do not draw. I do sing. Okay. I mean, it's still best 2 out of 3, so we have 2 more, and maybe you'll win 1 more, and you'll get whatever you wanted. Amdas, please don't spam fake ads here. I appreciated the bit, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't. Ah, you want pillows? Fine, I'll give you pillows. I do voice acting. I do lots of voice acting. Chad, did you know that you can hear my voice acting demo after this? Can there be fun pillows? Fine. Fine. I will play the voice acting demo after this one. I'll grab some water. And then we will continue on from there. Nope, none yet. The only credit that I have right now is in a small indie video game, which is sick, by the way. But you know, that's all I got. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. We are working on moving our way up. I just have not had any time to audition anything because I've been focusing on VTubing. Actually, I auditioned for one game, and it's been almost a year, and they have not, progressed. I'm just like, come on, please. I want to be in a boy love video game. Why can't I be part of it? Thank you. Oh. Well, I've auditioned for, 3 things, so let's be honest. I didn't do the Bad Summer one, no. I forgot about it. Boy love video game? I wanted to be in a dating sim. I mean, I wish the project would just announce that, they're not continuing or something, so I can, show you all the audios I did for it. But, I didn't get the part yet. I don't know if I will get the part. And that's the whole thing of, I wish they'd just say something. Stop holding on to my hope. Coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine. Gotta get out. I want it all. Out of the kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. I will take your choose. Well, I mean, so Vanya currently is writing the, which there is an AO3 Lucky verse that Vanya has been writing. And so there is currently a fanfic out there about me and the Big Mac, which I hate, a long sausage, and a bunch of other the foot cake. You know what's funny? There's so many people here who have no clue what I'm talking about now. Because it's been a while since we've talked about all the fanfic stuff. But all of the characters were based off of weird food occurrences that were happening in my life. And it's good. I liked reading. I read it on stream. No. Oh, no, I hate Big Macs. Big Macs are one of the objectives. You don't know, do you? You don't know of my Big Mac hatred. Now, where do we start with this? To all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. First off, wrong. Because there's an extra layer of bread there. 2 scrawny little meat patties. Double the lettuce, double the sauce, double all of the toppings. Between an extra slice of bread. It is the worst sandwich McDonald's offers. And the only thing special about it is the sauce. Now, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. Genuinely, it could be a good double cheeseburger. They just got rid of the extra layer of bread. But the fact that this is supposed to be the iconic burger of McDonald's makes it so very, very awful. So I hate it. Anyways, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did I get hit by lightning? That was thunder. I saw a flash. That was so loud. I felt that. Oh, that was, wow. And I'm still in a cage. Okay, what do you all get for it? You get pillows, right? We good on pillows? All right. Oh. Is Aiko here? Is Vo here right now? Coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine. Gotta get help. Gotta wanna help. Oh, dang. Started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this? It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Mm-hmm. Oh, are we? Wait, are we? What? You know what? Here. For now, until I get the pillows, I'll give you the other stuff, okay? Not the birthday balloons. You don't get those. There's a little reward for you for now, okay? Okay? There you go. Still in the cage. But enjoy your sweets. Mm-hmm. Don't spill paint on the bed. What? Why are you spilling it? What? Oh, right. I'll find pillows. So we're going to play the demo reel while I go get pillows. Give me a second, okay? I don't think I'm going to make it. My legs hurt. Even my brain hurts.
Reversing the polarity will cause a cataclysmic reaction of... turn the dials right. Make device go boom.
I thought I'd left you dead in the desert.
I mean, haunted by ghosts, ain't I? I guess I deserve it.
Good evening, fellow Mad Cats. DJ Fang is ready to spin more records. Coming up next, 12 commercials back to back. My favorite.
You made it. I didn't think you'd come. No one else has. Still, you seriously made my day. We are not taking any more party members. Wait, are you wearing a dead possum as a scarf?
Nah, she ain't dead. She's just scared. The poor sweetie pie.
Please, take a seat. Right here, by my side.
Where you can't get away so easily.
I am Nerd. Hear me roar. I can't really roar that well, but I'm trying, okay?
Well, that's what the last guy thought. And you don't want to know what happened to him.
Do not be blinded by fear, my child. Embrace it. Welcome it. Let it pass. Remember, only you shall remain in the end.
And there are those. Okay, I almost have the pillows. I just had to verify. Man, why do I have to verify? I had to watch a 30-second ad. I have to now verify that I'm human. Now, I understand it's free, so I shouldn't be complaining that hard. But, like, come on. This is P&G egg, by the way. All right, here you go. Pillows. Enjoy your pillows. You get some pillows today, okay? If I give you more pillows, can I come out of the cage for a little while, please? I'll give you better pillows. Okay,
I need
here.
my iron.
Fine, I'll also give you iron, okay? Here. I got you. I'll give you iron. All right. Pillows and supplements? Bet. So here's the other pillows. More pillows. And here is the iron. I got you. Okay. Back in the cage. Y'all getting cozy in there. That ain't fair. Fine, I'll get you some better supplements. Here, let's see if I can find some vitamin. Wait a second. Am I actually gonna find this? Wow. This is so stupid. Okay, so I found vitamins. They are vitamins for men. Made without iron. No iron. Okay, let's see if I can find an iron supplement. There we go. And all right, we good? This one's for women though, so you know. Oh, fine. And a plush. If it gets me out of the cage, we'll also do a plushie, okay? Just one though. Okay, I found the one for you all. No, you all get... There you go. You get a little stuffed dog, okay? There we are. There. You don't like its shirt? Wow. You know what? Okay. If y'all want a better shirt, you need water? You know you don't need water. You'll be fine. I'm coming out of my cage now. There. Coming out of my cage and I'm... Actually, you do need water. I'm sorry. Who am I? I'm the guy who promotes water. Yeah. And I made a promise I'd give you more things if you let me out. Can we gamble? No, I don't want to go back in the cage. We'll do it later. Let me at least have one run. Ow! Don't hit me. I was supposed to get water. Coming out of my cage and I'm doing just fine. Gotta get a minute. All right, fine. I will give you water as long as you behave yourselves, okay? Thank you. Behave yourself. Oh, I love Death Sweep. Spiders! Imagining opening a box and it's just full of spiders. Imagine opening a box and it's just spiders. How insane would that be? I'm sorry, but I just opened a box and it was full of spiders. do apologize. I did not consider the mental toll that might take on you. A boo box, and it's just my... Whoops, all spiders. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome on in, welcome on in. The Exorcist finger. Ooh. Who are you telling? Hi, my name's Michael with a B. And I'm afraid of insects. Where's the bee? There's a bee! Vine was top tier. Vine was amazing. Hello, Queen Shadow Moon. How you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm omni-binary. I'll eat both the vitamins, and your bars are safe from my chewing now that I have iron.
Your bars are safe from my chewing now that I have iron.
Ooh. When hit down, all enemies will be dealt 2 damage. You just woke up? Pog. Yes. I'm in a good mood. Y'all put me in a good mood. I hope you know that. Y'all make my life better, more enjoyable, more fun. Thank you. Oh, you didn't see the Gamba? I'll see if I can write another one. How about this? We'll run another Gamba just for you. I'm gonna do a Gamba here. Heads or tails, Sinful? Heads or tails? And if you win, you get VIP. At least for a month. Mm-hmm. Alexa, flip a coin. Ooh, tails. Nice try, though. Oh, I'm gonna lock you back in the cage. Okay. Oh, I haven't told you all about the next TikTok yet, have I? Do you want to know about it before it happens? One second, I gotta lock in for a little bit here, sweeties. The next TikTok is going to be all about me deciding that y'all are too much effort to take care of. And so I let you free. That's exactly what happens, and nothing else happens after that. It totally ends at that moment. Uh-huh. That's it. Brookie died! Doubt? Suspicious? Why would you be suspicious? There's no reason for you to be suspicious. No reason. There's totally... Oh, hi, Filthy. It's been a while. Hi, Fifi. Can we get a shout-out for Fifi, please? A Filthy fangirl, for those of you who don't know. Been a bit. Oh. Yeah, no, totally. That's why I would definitely free you. Guys, I'm totally... Ah! Sorry. Ah! Rough. I'm doing great. I've been a busy bee. I've been a busy bee. When's the last time y'all seen me busy? Busy. Biz. Anyways, but yes. For an unrelated reason, though, I did need a picture of stairs and a basement door. So don't worry. I have it on the hardest difficulty. Because I'm smart. Gene, why didn't you play it on easier difficulty? Oh, it's such a good game. It is such a good game. Ow, don't hit me with things. Why must you commit violence against me? Ow! Why are you committing violence against me? This is uncalled for. I forgot that I need to harvest the vegetables myself. Yeah, you're right. It's not fun unless it's a challenge. And there's not really like any benefit for me to play this game easier. Because it's not like I'm missing out on story. Nobody's innocent here. Let's be honest. Nobody's innocent here. Don't lie to yourselves. Y'all came here for the voice. I know you did. Uh-huh. Prove your innocence. Mm-hmm. I even know what I'm doing with these mushrooms. I don't know why I keep planting them. You didn't have to cut me off. I came here because I was locked up. Stayed for the personality. See, that's the thing. I'm glad that y'all are at least, you know, enjoying everything else I do, you know? Later, my brother and I was traveling through the dark. We got separated. I never knew what became of him. Do you think you could find out? Yeah, let's go to Darkwood. I appreciate that, y'all. Like, I had a change in my content at one point in time, and I like where we are now. Getting to do cool, fun things, hanging out, vibing. We do karaoke nights, we do all sorts of stuff, and it's just been such a great experience. I would not change it for the world. Genuinely. Y'all are a blessing. Yes, you did get snacks. Some people got snacks. They all believe illness is divine punishment. Illness is divine punishment, so now everybody's happy that they got sick. So my faith went up. This is incredible. I'm out of hydrates and head pads? Ooh. All right, chat, we're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna do a follower raffle. I'm actually gonna grab water while we have this running, so if you all don't know how to do the follower raffle, you can Google it. Thank you for the follow, Killian. So, feel free to join, and I will be right back. I'm gonna grab my water, okay? Oh, whoops. Well, I hit the button. Never mind. Give me a second. Also, congratulations to Kona. We're getting another one. Sometimes you have to lock people up upon meeting them. You can't blame me for that one. Okay. Now give me a second. I'm braining here. Hey, hey. I needed money. Why'd I need money? Person. All right, plan. Bye. Okay, we're gonna run the raffle again. This way, I can go get my water and not accidentally run it immediately. You ready? All right, raffle time. Start the raffle. I'll be right back. Mwah. And we're back. Okay. We ready? Let's see what we got.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Misty! Congratulations. Welcome. You can go mine rock. We're gonna do this. Clean up the poop. Why y'all pooping all over the place again? Y'all poop too much. I ain't even be feeding you enough for you all to be pooping that much. This is a normal rule. Okay, good. You do have plumbing in the basement now. Yes, they do have. I have 2 bathrooms too. Y'all just be liking to poop on the ground for some reason, unless I haven't cleaned out the toilet in a little while, in which case that might be on me. No, toilet's clean. You know, it might be time to build another farmland. Yeah. Well, look. There was a grate in the ground that y'all could use. That was fine. Y'all don't need more than just a single grate, right? Hey! Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the sub. The sub? Hey! Thank you for the gifted sub. What the heck? Thank you. I appreciate it. You can't aim. Yeah, it's just aim. Why are you standing up? Go rest. Okay. Right. So we're gonna build more farmland. Ow. Let's build. So we have one farm over here. Let's do another one. There. Then can I build another seed depot? Not yet. You don't have any privates? Fair enough. All right. W Willow. Wait. Did somebody win? Or are you just Wing for the gifted? But thank you so much for the gifts. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you kindly, honestly, genuinely. Y'all, you know y'all don't have to do that, but I really do appreciate you all. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Shared shelter, yes! Yes! Finally! Big houses. Big houses never collapsing. Yes! Ah! Oh, I'm sure you don't suck at streaming. Why do I need poop? Why is there poop needed for this? Weird. I ain't gonna question it. All right. One more time. Thank you for contributing to the totem, by the way, everybody. I do really, really appreciate it. Waddle and Dob? Waddle and... What do you mean Waddle and Dob? Aiko, we're gonna send you out for meat. Thank you. Oh! Oh, like the... Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. And we have to go to... Is this the wood, right? Dark wood, yeah. Enjoy your call, enjoy your call. And stream's been going by so quickly today. One day, lovelies, one day when I finally hit partner and we make this a full-time living, we're gonna be streaming longer. Then we'll need more mods. It's gonna be such a nice problem to have of like the needing to have significantly more mods. It is. This has been a lot of fun. And I appreciate you all for making this so much fun for me. I hate those guys. It goes by so quickly, right? You're just sitting there with me and suddenly, boom, 2 hours gone. You'll never get those hours back. Then you have to explain to people, what did you do with those 2 hours? And you're like, I hung out with an anime boy. And they're gonna be like, you might need therapy. Have you considered help? I figured something out. Hey, Gene, do you know why you've been playing so badly? Could it be that your microphone is covering half your screen? Maybe. So I could see the right side of the screen with my left eye, but not my right eye, which made perception and depth a little bit harder. Shush. Okay, but also crying, have you maybe tried therapy? Please, everybody, try therapy. Therapy is so good for you. Therapy is so good for you. Therapy is so good for you. Only the hottest people get therapy. And getting therapy makes you hotter. Just saying. Yeah, I need to kidnap a therapist for you. Yeah, well. Exactly. I get therapy. I go to therapy every Tuesday. And I'm handsome. No, I'm decent looking. I find myself attractive, and that's all that really matters. What's this do? I'm adorable. My mommy said I'm pretty. Well, I think your mom's... Anyways. Chat, introduce me to your mom. My lovely little voidlings. Ow. There we go. You can meet my madre? Heck yeah. Be too awkward? I won't. I don't trap moms. I take moms out for dinner. And dads. Wait, why am I so big and heavy? What's happening here? Your mom? Ayo. Ah, Boku, nice. I forgot, there's a lot of therapy majors. I think we talked about this. There we go. My BA was psychology? That is crazy. That is crazy. It's because I have mental issues. I know it. I know it. Y'all just like, you know, the pretty boy, he has to have some mental problems. And guess what? You're right! Congrats! You got it in one. Proud of you. Oh, do not... Okay, so therapy is fantastic, but you have to, like, be willing and open and honest with your therapist. I know that can be very hard for some people. Remember, the point of therapy is not to no longer need therapy, it's to better yourself as a person. And trust me, it works. If you go at it with the right attitude. I'm a much better person than I was before therapy. Honestly, I just like myself a lot more now that I've had therapy. It helped me through a lot of issues that I had. And now I'm a better content creator because of therapy as well. It's true, actually. I'm very glad I am who I am. When I first got therapy, I mean, I get therapy now. I go to therapy every Tuesday. And honestly, it's only now, though, that I am, like, more mature and willing to, like, take therapy seriously, that therapy is actually helping. I did it when I was younger, back when my parents got divorced. I don't know why I'm getting... Y'all want my life story real quick? I take Adderall, which is a thing used for attention deficit, so I did have to go see a psychiatrist. Difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist is what, chat? What's the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist? Prescriptions, correct. So yes, I had to go to a psychiatrist to get meds for Adderall. And so they did do a mental evaluation of me at the time. But then I did go again when my parents were getting divorced. Because, you know, they're like, oh, we got to make sure the kid is stable. And apparently, I was told it was weird that I, as a child, was like, oh, this divorce really isn't my thing. It's my parents' thing. Because, like, to adults, that makes sense, you know? Like, oh yeah, it's these two adults getting divorced. It's not really on the kids. Or is it the kid's responsibility? But, like, children always, like, want to make it part of their life. Or their thing. And my therapist's like, yeah, it's not normal that you were able to do that as a child. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Hello, Evil Diva, how you doing? But yeah, so therapy, and they're all like, oh yeah, you seem perfectly mentally stable, in fact, almost too mentally healthy, but that's fine because you're going through parents getting divorced. But it really didn't help me because I wasn't really honest with the therapist at the time. Because all I really wanted to do was succeed at therapy. I didn't want to actually have any help or benefit, and I died. But my most recent therapist has been amazing, so they've been the one to kind of evaluate me better. And a therapist. I go to therapy. I do not see a psychologist. I do not see a psychoanalyst. I do not see a psychiatrist. I do see a psychiatrist from Adderall, but that's besides the point. All right, sweet. I think we're actually coming up close to the end of stream, though. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a raffle for the last follower of the night. We're gonna swap to just chatting, and we're gonna hang out for a little while, just to vibe, maybe listen to a little music. And then we'll raid out, and I'll go work on my TikTok. So please, if you'd like to join the raffle, do so now. Five, 4, 3, 2. Amazing. Oh, you look sick. Love it. Welcome, Sinful. And that's valid, Boku. That's definitely valid. I might have done finger guns. Don't judge me. Don't judge me for doing finger guns. Hey, stop watching me. Do keep watching me. Keep watching me, but like, let me do finger guns. That's gonna be it on this game for today. Let's go over to just chatting for a little while. So I want to say that I've really appreciated all of you, of course. I've let you know that several times. Going to just chatting, and let's put on some music. What kind of music we feeling? Any vibes in particular? Ruby Dark. Okay, I'll check out Ruby Dark Rose. How bad is Ruby Dark Rose? I'll play it. Interesting. Not awful as in sexual. Bye, macaroni. Huh. I mean, it's kind of stated. It's a little stated. Thank you for the head pat. Huh. Not bad. I like it. It's interesting. Okay. So, plans for the week. Let's see what else we got going on. Today's Monday, so we have a full week ahead of us. We have... actually, let me see where the music volume is. There we go. Okay, cool. So, this weekend... my brain just shut off. Treasure Plant? Yes, Goo Goo Dolls. I don't know what I'm doing this week. Oh, Thursday. Thursday we have a collab. Stream will be starting a little bit later on Thursday, just a heads up for that. Yes. So Thursday stream will be on Thursday. Will be starting at around 5. I think the game's called Zort or something like that. It looks fun. We'll be playing with 2-3 other people that I haven't really hung out with much, but it looks cool. Then I think this week for the morning streams, we're going to be doing the cleaner game. And Friday, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing. I think I might just do like some horror story readings. Maybe some voice acting kind of stuff. Yes. And I kind of want to do a last-minute Halloween competition, a costume competition. Is something y'all would be interested in? Just do a last-minute costume competition? Post the pictures up in the Discord. We'll do a thing. Yeah? All right. Cool. Well, keep trying to draw. Oh, because you're watching me. Yeah. I think it'd be a vibe. So yeah, on Friday we'll just do some horror story readings. We'll kind of vibe, make it like a little Halloween party. Maybe sing a little bit. Yeah. And I don't think I have singing lessons on Friday because it is Halloween and I think they're closed for Halloween. So we might go a little bit longer. Maybe I'll get some booze. Maybe I'll drink a little, okay? We'll have a few drinks, we'll vibe, we'll hang out. Nothing too fancy. I had the whole like plan at the beginning of this month. No, Stoney, we're right with this. It's right at the end of stream. Yes, and the Discord server will be changing soon. It will be. We're soon going to be using Discord's age verification. So if you're using iPhone, you need to turn on a feature. But I suggest using your PC, etc., etc. Just let us know. Ping us here. We'll be fine. Okay. I think that is it for me for now. Cool. Well, in that case, everybody, please drink water. Please be responsible. Please be as amazing as I know you are. And we're going to find somebody to raid out to. Oh, also, I have a Halloween costume for Halloween for my model. So get ready for that, okay? That one should be interesting. All right. Oh, you know who we're going to raid, chat? We're going to raid Cha-Cha. We're going to raid Cha-Cha. Y'all say hi to Cha-Cha for me. Cha-Cha's a fantastic VTuber. So massive. Such a big person. So cool. So incredible. They're doing some just chatting. We're going to do a little lucky raid, all right? Wait, did the raid not work? 1 second. Perfect. Okay, looks like it's working. So we're going to do a little bit of a... lucky raid. All right, if you can copy this raid message for me, and you're going to post it the second you get over there. It says copy the raid message. What's a little bit last minute? What's a little bit last minute? Karamiya, you said something's last minute. What's last minute? Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, y'all are amazing. Love y'all so very much. Mwah. Here's the and I'll see y'all later. Bye.